had the homies that my age and the little homies probably 3-4 years up under me, we brought the gang banging into the aspect of gang banging. As far as the drugs,
I put the bang in the gang.
We put the bang in the gang.
Be very careful who you talk to, because you'll never know who the informant is, who the cooperating witness may be, and you never know, somebody who was a friend today may have been flipped the night before and become your enemy tomorrow.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines, while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray with y'all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is going to send you a big.
I turned villain in 1982, right? Like I said, I used to be from the Pueblos, right? Certain incident happened. Then I ended up starting kicking with the villains. I ended up turning Bloodstone villain, and I wanted to be a part of some riding stuff, like, you know, just really coming out, like really on some gang banging tip, you know what I'm saying? Even though I was banging with the Pueblos real tough, but a lot of my dudes from Pueblos had ended up going to jail, right? So I just started gravitating to the villain side. I ended up hanging out at Zabi's parking lot. Everybody know about Zabi's in our hood on 51st. I started hanging out with certain homies, and they was like, nigga, you might as well go and turn villain. So I ended up turning DUCE Bloodstone villain.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, and then when you did see your dudes, how did they feel about it?
Oh, it wasn't no, because at the time, Pueblos from villain from Pueblos. We always was an ally with that sex, but certain homies turned Pueblos, certain homies turned villain. So, you know, that was just the way of culture when we used to get along real tough with each other.
You know, and that's not unusual, because there was multiple dudes that claimed 2 sets or was from a set. That's not unusual. Sometimes people try to make something out of it, but it's really nothing. It's just about the culture, and it's about, you know, who you jail with and who you rock with. You know what I mean? At the time, and sometimes those things change. And when it changes, you got to make the change, the best adjustment for yourself. I appreciate you enlightening us on that. So, growing up, right, on which street? 52nd, 51st?
50. I actually grew up out there on 42nd and Ascot. Actually, as a kid, a lot of people didn't know that. You know, my moms and pops had moved around. You know, a lot of stuff moved from over there to the Pueblos. Over there, my pops used to hang over there at the gambling shacks on Central. So I started hanging out over there with him, and then I started coming up. Like I said, when all my partners went to jail from Pueblos, I intervened with the villains and started hanging out with the villains, and ended up turning Bloodstone villain.
A lot of people don't know that Central was the corridor, was the mecca for blacks. You know, I remember Sir George. Remember Sir George?
Yeah,
everybody used to go get their jeans from Sir George. You know, he had stacks of them. Yeah. And then there was Sammy Green. Did you know Sammy Green?
Yeah, Sammy Green. I used to go them Thang burgers and everything.
Yeah, the Thang burgers. Juicy burgers was the thing.
Yeah, 55th Reds. Yeah, Sammy Green had a hell of a hamburger stand, man. Came out that hamburger stand. Everybody used to eat from there. People from Compton, Long Beach, they used to come down there and get their food from out of Watch. Everybody around off the west side, everybody used to go to Sammy Green's to eat, man.
So how would that be? Would that be like Sammy Green's was off limit? If you going to get food, we're going to get food. We ain't tripping, and we run into these other cats, or would it go down sometime?
Look, I would tell you, people just used to come. You know, sir, like, you know, people still do people from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of Crips used to come through there and grab their burgers or send their broads through there to get their burgers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the world knew about Sammy Green. So they used to come and fluctuate and get their food and want to eat something. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, as far as that, it wasn't really no shooting or no problems back then that I can't remember. It probably was a couple of fights that dudes seen each other. But as far as that, it wasn't really nobody never got killed right there, you know. So that was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really happened at Sammy Green, but, you know, people came there to eat. He had good food.
I had a cousin, right? A relative. His name was Lacey Brown. And him and his girl named Delia, they lost their life at a bud spot somewhere down there. But I always thought that he was from Billings. I wasn't for sure, but I knew he was from out of that section somewhere. His name was Lacey Brown. I don't know if you remember anything.
I don't think I remember that name, Lacey Brown. I don't know if I remember the cat or not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's a sad situation. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. It was, and it was during the '80s when things, you know, because the '80s took the bang to a whole nother level based on the cocaine that was entered in the city, and people was able to get more volume, more guns, more. It just, you know, escalated.
Yeah, the 80s took, like I say, everybody, like you had homies that started sets, right? From Bloods to Crip sets. But when you had the homies that my age and the little homies probably 3-4 years up under me, we brought the gang banging into the aspect of gang banging. As far as the drugs.
I put the bang in the gang.
You put the bang in the gang, basically.
So being you part of the '80s, what was that like, Swanny? If you could dial back in your mind and just envision, what was that? How harsh was that to even exist in that time right there?
Man, coming up in the '80s, being a Blood or whatever, you was a Crip. Bloods was really, we, like everybody always say, we get on these videos and we talk, we get on these podcasts and talk. Bloods was always outnumbered. So coming up in the 80s, being a Blood was kind of scary, but you had to have heart to become a Blood at that point. You had dudes back then with the juvenile hall, you know, and some dudes didn't claim, some dudes did. I just always remember the homies used to tell me, nigga, it's a lot of Crips in juvenile hall. When you go there, nigga, claim your hood, claim the hood. I was a small dude, but I was banging from Villain, and I actually had to claim Villain. Like I said, I had about 6 fights, right? Probably 3 and 3 out the bunch. 1, 3, lost 3. You know, claim my set. They actually, when I go to E&F dorm at Los Padrinos, all the Bloods over there on the east, we was in F dorm. So they was like, Swanny, come over here with us. This was all the Bloods. I said, I ain't going nowhere, homie. It is what it is. So I had to take the consequences and suffer that. You know what I'm saying? I had to line it up and fight. You know what I'm saying? My fighting skills weren't good, but I had enough to hold a motherfucker off of me. Period, that. But I never went nowhere. I always been outnumbered. I used to always, I wish a homie would come up here. I wish we had a homie that I could meet from anywhere. It could be from Pyru or West Side Blood or East Side Blood that I could just be with and be like, homie, we up against it. But coming up in the 80s was really hard for Bloods, man. It was really hard. And right now, as of the day, it's so many, the rappers got, you know, a lot of Bloods into blood gangs now, because you got a lot of Bloods that rap now, so they influence, right? But a lot of these young Bloods don't know how hard it was coming up being a Blood. Like I say, if the Crips wasn't really, you got Crips sets warm with each other. The Crips sets weren't really warm with each other. The Bloods will see how hard it is that'll be in the Blood. Everybody says a lot of Bloods. I beg to differ. Bloods was getting deep as the rap game was going on, but what was the Crips doing? They were still counting numbers too. And I don't know why people say that. The Crips always gonna be deeper than Blood, no matter what, how you look at it or how far you look at it. That's just some real talk.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money, got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top. diamond Cartier. That nigga Wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can